Your top stories this evening brought to you with the kind compliments of courts bringing value home. 3 other prisoners on the run have been identified. The opposition leader has actually found 10 new nominees for the GCOM chair job. A major crackdown on noise nuisance is on the horizon, and floods are back in regions 7, 8, and 9. HGP Nightly News starts right now. Good evening to our viewers here in Ghana and online. I am Javon Vickery with the July 12th edition of the HGP Nightly News. Here's what you need to know. Another 10 persons have so far been shortlisted to be nominated for the GCOM chairman's job. But opposition leader Barry Jagdeo says consultations will continue to select 6 for the president's consideration. Rodin James reports.
Opposition leader Barry Jagdeo updated the media on Wednesday on the progress made with regards to the submission of his third list of nominees for the job of the chairman for the Guyana Elections Commission GCOM for President Granger's consideration.
We've just gotten about 10 names that we've shortlisted from different organizations that submitted names. They needed some time, so we've shortlisted 10 now. Persons. So from the 10, we now have to go down to the first 6 that we will talk to.
So far, both lists of names submitted to President Granger by Mr. Jagdeo were rejected. Both parties share different views on the interpretation of Article 1612 of the Constitution.
Let me give you an indication. One of the 10 already said to me, no. I don't want to be subjected to public humiliation. So we will now I'll now have to talk one-on-one with those people. So over the course of the next few days, I'll do that.
But how soon will the president receive the third list from Mr. Jagdeo?
You see, that is it, because I have to go through the process, meet people, talk to them. Some of them say to me, we got to talk to our family. So I can't say, I need a word from you immediately, call you to a meeting and say, will you agree to your name going on the list? And you have to tell me in 3 minutes. They would say, can I get a few days, a week to talk with my family and that sort of thing. So it's not a process that you can almost shortcut.
Mr. Jagdeo was guarded in relation to the release of the names likely to appear on his third list. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Royden. The authorities have confirmed that no prisoner died in the inferno that razed the Camp Street jail, while 3 other persons are on the run have been identified. Anna George reports.
The entire compound of the Camp Street prison has been checked, rechecked time and again. And the conclusion is that no one was trapped there by the inferno that razed the facility on Sunday. In the meantime, prison authorities have identified these 3 men: Desmond James, Cornelius Thomas, and Cabena Stevens, aka OJ, as prisoners on the run. They are wanted by the police for questioning in relation to murder and escaping from lawful custody. The police say all information will be treated with the strictest confidence. Desmond James is a 24-year-old Amerindian male whose last known address is Otoquai Creek, Northwest District. Cornelius Thomas is a 31-year-old male of African descent whose last known address is 36 Gaia Gardens, Georgetown. And Cabena Stevens is a 26-year-old male of African descent whose last known address is Middle Walk, Buxton, East Coast, Demerara. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Desmond James, Cornelius Thomas, and Cabena Stevens, aka OJ, are asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 225-6411, 225-8196, 225-2227, 227-1149, 226-7065, 911, or the nearest police station. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Ayana George.
Thank you, Ayana. Inmates of both the Camp Street and Lusignan prisons are having their matters heard by magistrates in an effort to reduce the prison population at Lusignan. However, reported sightings of prison escapees have turned out to be pranks. Here are the details. Since fire ripped through more than 75% of the Georgetown prison on Sunday, the Lusignan prison has become the temporary home for hundreds of remanded and convicted prison inmates. But the penitentiary is now overcrowded, and to address the issue, the authorities have initiated a plan to have special hearings for displaced inmates of the Camp Street prison and those held at Lusignan. Commander of C Division Calvin Brutus told Nightly News in a telephone interview that special hearings have so far resulted in scores of prisoners being released under special circumstances.
For those who are incarcerated from both prisons, Lusignan and Camp Street prisons, they're coming to hear their matters. Some are being sent since the beginning of this week on their own recognizance for petty matters. You have some having their bail reduced, so if they can post those bail, they can go. And others are just basically for remand because the matters are such serious matters that you cannot send them on bail.
There has also been tension on the East Coast since the Camp Street prison uprising. While ensuring that the corridor is secured against any possible threat, the commander said reported sightings have been keeping the police busy.
We also have our patrols throughout the division, and we've increased the amount of patrols throughout the division. We have also increased our security at station, and all leads that come into us, we try to verify them. So far, all the leads that we've been receiving throughout the period since the unrest has proven to be inaccurate.
Commander Brutus further noted that at present, there is increased collaboration among enforcement agencies patrolling the East Coast corridor.
We have a deployment of police and soldiers here, adequate amount soldiers and police here that's securing the prison facility. That is inner perimeter and external perimeter, manning the roadblock up on the end of the road leading to the prisons.
Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News. Opposition leader Barry Jagdeo wants Minister of Public Security Kamraj Ramjatan to take full responsibility for the recent prison riot in Georgetown, even as he ridicules the government for incompetence in managing the issue. Royden James reports.
Jagdeo said the People's Progressive Party has no plan to make the recent Camp Street unrest issue a political one, but the government, particularly Minister of Public Security Kamraj Ramjatan, should be held accountable for the occurrences at the jail. Speaking at a press briefing at his Church Street office on Wednesday, Jagdeo said he does not believe that the government has command of the situation.
And what we have seen from the government does not give us cause for much optimism that they're being truthful and that they are in total command of the situation. Photo opportunities, press conferences, public statements are meaningless unless they're backed by substance.
Mr. Jagdeo said too that the mere fact that Minister Ramjatan sought to blame sugar on Sunday evening as the reason the prison's COI recommendations were not taken on board warrants his removal from the post.
Well, I've seen there are lots of public calls for Ramjatan to resign. Maybe he should consider it. He should consider it. Or Granger should consider firing him at this point in time.
Mr. Jagdeo noted that the top priority of the government now should be the safety of the people.
And there should be a large-scale manhunt to recapture those who have escaped. That should be the top priority of the government, and to ensure that they secure the prisoners who are, well, in the lockdown, so that we don't have an escalation.
Mr. Jagdeo preempted media questioning on how his administration had handled the 2002 jailbreak. He chose to criticize the then opposition for aiding those who staged the 2002 jailbreak. Jagdeo said that members of the APNU government were providing cover for escapees in 2002 and that the PPP will not do such, but will support the security forces in their bid to quell the matter.
We didn't have a situation analogous to the one that happened last year or this year. We had a breakout of the prison, and you would recall the difficulties we had, the political environment in which we had to fight the crime. And that is why I started off by saying, what is different now?
Jagdeo chided the government for not releasing the Commission of Inquiry reports, which was launched after the prison unrest last year. Royden James, HGP Nightly News.
Thank you, Royden. A 63-year-old Agricola woman who was shot at her home during a shootout between police and the suspect on Tuesday still has a bullet lodged in her body. Kristen Macklingham reports.
Parmal Day, also known as Gallo, a housewife of Lot 124 Caesar Street, Agricola, East Bank, Demerara, was shot on Tuesday during a shootout between police and a suspect while she was resting in her hammock at her home. According to the police, she was grazed by a stray bullet, taken to a government-run hospital, then treated and sent away. However, her husband Hiralal, who was at home when his wife was shot, is telling a different tale.
He just shoot from the first shot that fire from this side. And that end there, when you fire more shot, because you see all up top there, boss, all up top there. And when I come, she don't get shoot already. But I went from the hammer, come, she don't get shoot. I had to call them by over there to catch the diamond. And diamond can't do nothing.
Hiralal explained that the bullet is yet to be removed from his wife's body, and at this point, no one knows who will be footing the bill for the private medical expenses incurred as a result of his wife being shot accidentally by the police.
I can't catch the pressure. I don't know who can pay the bill. The police fully responsibility.
The distraught man is calling on the Minister of Public Security, Kemraj Ramjatan, to ensure that police officers undergo more training before they are issued with firearms or sent to such crime scenes.
Mr. Ramjatan going to do something better with this police. These police have no regard to nobody. If he come in front and if a man jump this fence, when the police come there, they're supposed to watch and see. They see nobody running, they can't shoot him in people's private property. They can't shoot there. I don't know how come they shoot in this place. The lady they're right inside the hammock, and the police stand up there, you can see that lady in the hammock. You see, you can see me. I don't know, God save me at the back there, because enough shot, all up in the roof, they got shot.
On Tuesday, in the Macdoum and Agricola villages, East Bank, Demerara, chaos and confusion reigned when heavily armed police ranks swooped down in hot pursuit of the suspects, and villagers rushed out to witness the action. One unidentified suspect was subsequently shot and apprehended by law enforcement officers in Agricola, and in the neighboring village of Macdoum, armed officers also managed to shoot another suspect. He is also in police custody. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, I am Kristen Macklingham.
Thank you, Kristen. Complaints of noise nuisance across Guyana has forced the Public Security Ministry to clamp down on loud music in bars, clubs, and public transport vehicles. Here are the details. The key objectives of the task force are enforcing existing or create new rules governing codes for all buildings that cater for the use of amplified sound equipment, enforcing silent zones, eliminating the proliferation of loud music in public transport vehicles, recommending amendments to laws that allow the use of available technology to establish and measure noise levels for the purpose of compliance and prosecution, curbing random and spontaneous open-ear roadside boomboxes, and examining complaints made about industrial noise and take necessary action as deemed fit to eliminate or reduce the level of noise discomfort. The minister noted that the decision by the ministry to set up a task force to enforce regulatory decisions was taken due to the mounting complaints to the police about bars and minibuses playing loud and in some cases lewd music.
I have gotten complaints from some old people, school children, and that is why we decided to create this task force, take a look back at the laws, take a look at the assets that we have, the decibel meters to read, because when we go into trials in the courts, we are losing a lot of these noise nuisance cases.
Action will be taken against wrongdoers immediately. An introductory advisory period, according to the minister, will also address the prosecutorial process of dealing with noise nuisance. He said that the problem lies with proving arguments in the court.
Because the magistrates are asking, how loud was the noise? And when the policeman says loud, how loud is it? And there's no gauge or kind of a mechanism to test it, whether it's 3 decibel, which is what the magistrates are looking for, complicates the cases.
The task force currently comprises representatives of the Ministry of Public Security, which is the coordinating agency, the Guyana Police Force, the Guyana Prison Service, the Guyana Fire Service, the Ministry of Natural Resources, Environmental Protection Agency, Ministry of Communities, Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Central Housing and Planning Authority, the Mayor and City Council of Georgetown, and the Guyana Revenue Authority. Javon Vickery, HGP Nightly News. 2,000 youths from the Hinterland region will be beneficiaries of a huge employment program managed by the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs. Anna George reports.
Youths from Region 1, 7, 8, and 9 are to receive capacity building training in entrepreneurship, ecotourism, and agriculture through the Hinterland Employment Youth Service Hayes 2017 program, which is managed by the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs. The program was launched on Wednesday at the Sapphire Exhibition Center. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Sydney Allicock, says the program will focus on preparing hinterland youths to lead in business.
The ministry's program execution and their own commitment and hard work has been paying off. We can now speak of having young, skilled, and enlightened entrepreneurs in indigenous villages and communities all across Guyana, something that 2 years ago we could not boast about.
1,876 students participated in the first program, which culminated in May. The minister noted that the project will change the way society views the Hinterland.
We can today celebrate the fact that our young indigenous citizens who benefited from this program thus far are living testimony to the positive outcome of the government's investment.
200 facilitators will venture into 100 villages where youths will also receive tutoring in mathematics and English, since there is a high school dropout rate in the various hinterland communities. Minister within the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs, Valerie Garrido-Lowe, urged collaboration by stakeholders.
As a ministry, we are encouraging a one ministry. So when Minister Allicock and I go out, when PS go out, when the chief accountant and her staff goes out, when the projects department go out, we are encouraging that they encourage those youths, they advise those youths, keep nurturing them.
Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Ayana George.
Police ranks are being commended for their professionalism these past weeks, but some residents of Macdoom and Agricola on the east coast of Demerara are unhappy with the manner in which a few policemen are being alleged to have conducted themselves during an operation on Tuesday. Kristen Macklingham reports.
Several allegations are being leveled against some ranks who responded to incidents at Macdoom and Agricola East Bank Demerara on Tuesday when armed suspects fled into those areas to escape the police. Pauline Charles, a vendor of MacDoom, in whose house one suspect was apprehended, had some uncomplimentary things to say about the police who carried out that operation.
They start to break up everything in the house, the BT, the BIC don't know about nothing, but they well and had me house in a gear. They broke up the picture frame, they broke up the clock, they tumble up the whole bedroom, the whole house. They drink all the things out to the fridge, they break everything. I don't know what more to say.
Who drank out the stuff and ate the stuff out?
The police.
Hiralal, the husband of the woman who was shot by the police in her hammock accidentally in Agricola, also complained that the phones of his neighbors who assisted in taking his wife to the hospital are now missing. Hiralal also expressed disgust at the manner the police operation was conducted at his home.
What are they taking a mango hiding in a little bag? I empty a little bag and so I'm going to close on his walking in. All they do. They come in people place, then they don't run to town and see what you can do with them people. They don't care. You put in guns in their hand and don't care nothing.
Commander of A Division Marlon Chapman, when contacted by Nightly News about these allegations, stated that no formal report of any such matters had been made. However, he has assured that since the accusations have now been brought to his attention, he will personally spearhead an investigation. Commander Chapman added that should ranks be found guilty, they will be dealt with accordingly, since he, and by extension the Guyana Police Force, cannot and will not condone misconduct by police officers. Meanwhile, even the media had a taste of the coarseness of two police ranks.
Hello, madam. You need to come off the scene, madam. Put the face, zoom in it. Madam, kindly come off for the corridor. Thank you very much.
Reporting for HGP Nightly News, I am Kristen Macklingam.
Thank you, Kristen. The Ministry of Public Infrastructure assists residents of Region 7, 8, and 9 as floodwaters return to those areas. Anna George reports now.
Recent flooding in Region 7 and 8, which had receded over the past weeks, has returned to haunt residents of Lethem Region 9. The flooding is said to have been caused by a backup in the Amazon and Rio Branco rivers in Brazil, which resulted in a backup of the Takatu River. Minister of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alicock says the Civil Defense Commission is at work to provide relief to residents in the Rupununi.
Santa Fe, the farm, has been underwater. It actually last week it was down, but then it's back again. It's up again, and the last report is that it's steadily coming back again to that height.
The minister added that in North Rupununi, there is also a backup by the Essequibo and the Rupununi rivers.
We have between Toka and Aranaputa, between Toka and Yacarinta, there is a part of the road that is underwater. The bridge in that mountainous area is underwater, and it's continuing to flow. There's also the serious situation with the road. However, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure is on it.
However, due to the heavy rainfall, Minister Alicock disclosed there is not much the contractors dispatched to the area could do.
What is good so far, we have not seen any sort of serious illnesses like diarrhea or vomiting and this as yet. But all these are possible, but I know that CDC and the region has been putting things in place.
He further said that the Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs with the CDC will set up a relief center in Region 9 to better cope with flood disasters. Reporting for HGP Nightly News, Ayana George.
Thank you, Ayana. Your sportscast is ahead with Calvin Chapman.
The finals of the Digicel Schools National Football Championships East Coast Zone after beating Golden Grove Primary top 4-0 in the first semi-final. Joshua Liverpool opened the scoring in the 16th minute. He expressed confidence of retaining the East Coast title after they had lost it to Ansgrove in 2016. He expressed the comeback win against IBE as the hardest hurdle.
Very confident because of the comeback against IB when we won the game. I was very excited. We on to the final, playing strong, ready for the opponent.
Jamar Robinson scored 2 goals for Annandale. He praised the overall team effort.
I feel good winning 4-0 and appreciated very much the whole team. No wonder I scored 2 goals, but I appreciate my whole team for coming here and being victorious today.
Annandale will play the winners of the semi-final clash between Buxton Youth Developers and Bladen Hall. The result of that match will be brought to you in a subsequent sportscast. Trevor Fifi, who was also on the scorecard in Annandale's 4-goal semi-final rout, noted some things his team needs to work on when they come against the winners of the second semi-final.
Passing the ball more, distributing the ball, stop dribbling so often. That's about it.
The national under-15 male football team, who had been encamped at the Lenora Track and Field Center in the west coast of Demerara since Sunday, July 9th, concluded the 5-day camp today, Wednesday, 12th July. The camp was held in preparation for the CONCACAF Under-15 Boys Championship in the United States of America from August 13 to 19. HGP Sports was present to track the progress of the exciting team, who recently won the first Under-15 title for Guyana when they came out victorious in the Soul League tournament in St. Martin. Head coach Brian Joseph noted that the core of the victorious Soul League team has been encamped along with the top performers from the various academy training centers around the country.
That has worked well. I think we found a couple of players who are challenging for spots right now and look likely to come to the other camps. What is also done is give the core players a challenge, and it has improved the overall conduct and the overall play of all the players in the camp.
Joseph went on to state that the 5 days has been nothing short of successful.
I think the positives in this camp has really overworked the negatives, which is just a few, in terms of the administration and how we need to set up. But in terms of the play and the development of the players, I think that has gone very well. And at this stage, I would say the camp is a success.
14-year-old Amari Glasgow, who was part of the camp, explained how the Academy Training Center helped improve his game for the national level.
ATC is something good to improve your skills, so when you reach the national level, you could perform well. Also, the ATC helps you improve on tactical, technical, and physical conditions, and also helps you to improve staying calm when you're playing in national football.
The Annandale Secondary School student who lives in Bedford-Forwacton was part of the East Coast ATC before being drafted into the Under-15 national camp. In cricket, the management of the Guyana Amazon Warriors announced today that the West Indies Under-19 World Cup champion player Kimo Paul has been selected as a replacement for Shimron Hettimeyer ahead of this year's CPL. Hettimeyer, who was initially selected by the Guyana Amazon Warriors as a West Indies youth player, will be on West Indies senior team duties, and as such, Paul has been chosen as his replacement. Paul, who was Hettimeyer's deputy when the West Indies Under-19 team won the Youth World Cup in 2016, made his List A debut in January 2015, playing for the West Indies Under-19s in Tobago. In March this year, the 19-year-old right-handed all-rounder's first-class debut was overshadowed by injury at the Queen's Park Oval, but came back with a tournament-winning 6-wicket haul at Providence for the Guyana Jaguars. The 5th edition of the Hero Caribbean Premier League opens on August 4 in St. Lucia, and the final is set for September 9 in Trinidad. Guyana Amazon Warriors full squad reads Martin Guptill, Ryan Emrit, Sohail Tanvir, Shadwick Walton, Christopher Lynn, Rashid Khan, Jason Mohammed, Stephen Taylor, Veersamy Pomal, Roshan Primus, Gajanant Singh, Asad Fuddin, Stephen Jacobs, Keon Joseph, Stephen Ketwaru, Kimo Paul, and Mohammed Ali Khan. In hockey, the annual Noble House Goals Galore Indoor Hockey Championships got off to an exciting start on Monday evening at the National Gymnasium, with reigning champions, the Pepsi Hikers, posting the most emphatic performance of the evening with 19 unanswered goals. The The tournament, which follows a unique concept of teams being awarded goal handicaps at the beginning of the tournament, allows junior sides to compete against the more mature and experienced sides. The top-ranked Pepsi Hikers entered their match against Old Fort Gosh with a 14-goal deficit due to the handicap given to the younger side. The Hikers dominated possession and made it a long night for Gosh as they were subjected to chasing the ball around the floor and taking it out of the net. The Hikers had scored 8 goals by the half to make it 14-8 in favor of Gosh, but the Hikers netted 11 more in the second half against the tiring Gosh to come out with 19-14 victory. National striker Aroidi Branford led all scorers with 8 goals. Jamar Jasana, Shane Samuels and Andrew Stewart each had hat-tricks, while Devon Monroe and Robert France scored 1 each all for the Hikers. The youngest men's side in the competition, Old Fort Warriors plus 20, suffered an opening defeat to senior counterparts Old Fort Dam positive 8, with the latter securing a 24-20 win. With the Warriors starting the match with 20 goals in their favor due to the handicap, the Warriors were the only side to score with 7 in the first half and 9 in the second for the win. Saints Hockey Club Old Dogs, positive 12, managed to overcome the Hikers Hockey Club recruits, positive 14, by 17-16 in the final men's clash of the evening, while the Old Fort Shooting Stars upstaged the youthful GCC Spartans by 14-13 in a ladies' matchup. The tournament continues on Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday of this week, with the finals scheduled to begin at 1840 hours on Saturday.
Thank you, Calvin. 3 other prisoners on the run have been identified. Opposition leader has actually found 10 new nominees for the GCOM chair job. A major crackdown on noise nuisance is on the horizon, and floods are back in Region 7, 8, and 9. Those were our major headlines for these and other stories. You can go to our website, that is www.hgptv.com. I am Javon Vickery. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.